I started designing, first we started print, then we got into websites. My personality, however, I like to figure out how things work. So I just didn't stop at the design, I got into development. I've been doing design development work for probably about 7 years now. I've been using WordPress for probably about 5 of those years, maybe a little more. Absolutely in love with WordPress. It's a great, powerful tool. I am very excited to see that everyone is here wanting to learn about it. Once you get a hang of it, it'll change your life, I promise. Currently, I work for a software company in town. I'm part of the marketing crew there. I'm the tech guy in marketing. So I focus a lot on inbound marketing. Okay, so today we're going to talk about inbound marketing and WordPress. I'm going to go over 5 strategies, 5 steps for your strategy. We're going to go over tools that you can use with WordPress to help you make these things come to life. And then if at any point anybody has other tools or plugins when we're at these points, if you have any other ones that I don't have listed,
Is anyone recording this? I mean, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that.
Am I on?
I didn't realize.
It's on.
Okay, cool.
Red light's on.
Then we will,
So the empty seat back there.
people can chime in with any of their opinions too, okay? But to start, I have to ask a question. What is the main purpose of your website?
Sell homes.
Sell homes? Anybody else?
More homes. Generate leads for people buying
Life
and
coach.
selling homes.
Life coach.
Life coach? Anybody?
Project management.
Fire management? All right. So they're all business-based websites with a goal, with potential target clientele. We need to know what this is because, as the old question is, if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a noise? Okay. Reason being is there's over 555 million active websites out there. So what makes yours stand out from everybody else's? There's plenty of people trying to sell homes. Plenty of people being personal coaches. Okay? Why is somebody going to come to your website and use your services? And I do apologize, I like to wander. The way I look at inbound marketing is I'm looking at you're creating a trail or maybe leaving some breadcrumbs for people to find you. Okay? There's people going to the internet with problems that they need solved, problems that you can solve for them. Now you have to provide some kind of way for these people to find you. And that's the path I'm creating. Now, there's 2 ways we can do this. There's inbound marketing and there's outbound marketing. Outbound marketing, or traditional marketing, I think this is a great example of it. Especially nowadays, it's becoming very overwhelming, very loud. Technology is actually allowing people to tune it out. We got TiVo, we have podcasts, we have our iPods. They're making radio and television ads and magazines ads irrelevant. So how else are people going to find you? That's inbound marketing. Okay. Inbound marketing to me is a very personal experience for the user. They're coming and looking for a problem. They're looking for you. They've actually found you. Okay. And they're sitting in a nice, quiet spot on the couch, maybe drinking some orange juice. Just like this. This is exactly how it but they're there by themselves in front of their computer, and potentially you have just solved a problem for them. So potentially, you have already gained their trust. Okay? So, like I said before, there are 5 steps. All right. First step, we are at WordCamp. Obviously, we've utilized WordPress. We produce content. Okay? Content is important. Content is king. Okay? It is crucial that you're not only producing content, but you're producing unique content that people want to listen to. Now, this I will say is probably the trickiest part. Okay? because what do you produce? I will say this, no one, and I apologize if anyone takes offense to this, but no one cares about your business. This is not about you, right? It's about helping customers or potential customers, all right? So what you need to focus on is potentially a good thing, a tool that people I've heard about is, what are the 10 top questions that a customer asks? That's some inspiration for content. Like I said before, I like to think of you're solving a problem. You're solving a problem for your clients. Okay? So you want to produce content that complements that problem. That's the correct way to say that. Nice little fun fact here for you. 84% of decision makers use online sources and guides for purchasing decisions. So if you think what I'm talking about is just making it up, which could be long-winded sometimes, a nice little stat that shows you that people are using Google and these search engines to find solutions to their problems. This is, the internet is here now. It's not going away. It's not one of those fads anymore, okay? And this is another slide that is just going back to the idea of the content. What is your tone? What do you want people to think about? What do you want them to find? Okay. Where's the best, I hope. There are a couple different types of content you can produce, okay? There's ultimately blog posts. I mean, this is WordPress, or WordCamp for WordPress. A lot of businesses will do white papers, a nice, long kind of fact-finding essay. Videos are great. Video blogs are great. Case studies. How did you help your potential clients or one of your clients solve their problem? What was the reaction to that? All right. So now we have this great content. Now it's time to optimize our content. And I'm really happy to see that there's been a number of talks on optimization today. More if possible. This is, well, like all these steps, it's crucial. Okay. Now you got this great content, but if the search engine can't find it, a potential client can't find it. Okay. There's a lot of information out there about optimization. I'm going to touch on a little bit of it, but it's literally something that you can spend multiple days on and dive really into. Just some things that you need to know. It's been the way Google works. About 25% of the optimization, the factors they use to determine your ranking. 25% of that can be determined on-site. 75% of it is determined off-site. And how do we control that? Well, 25%, this is the stuff that you can control right now. Okay, you can go home and make an immediate impact on that. The 75%, that is a lot more organic, and it takes a lot of time. It takes time, and it's more organic, and it takes link building a lot of times between other sites. Okay. Just to talk about the offsite real quick, a way that this could be helped is through blogging, producing more and more content. 434% more of company. Let me say this again. Companies that blog have 434% more index pages. What does that mean? That means Google has indexed more of your stuff. There's more out there for somebody to find. Okay. That's crucial. More is better. Then, also companies that blog have 97% more inbound links. Okay, inbound links. This is like your street cred. You're walking through the internet and through the internet world, and you get more street cred with all the other websites. It's like other websites giving you their stamp of approval, saying, "Hey, this guy does some good stuff. What he's talking about is not BS." okay? But this is stuff that, you know, until you guys start producing content, it all comes back to the content, okay? Now we go to the on-site optimization stuff. Just touching quickly on some of this stuff, because I know it's been covered today earlier. A lot of it, even though keywords aren't, you know, they used to use meta keywords back in the day. They used to be a big Google thing. It's kind of outdated now. I still think they're important because they help you refine your message and refine what you're looking for. And now they're not actually terms, they're more phrases. So it's good practice. I believe it's good practice. At least recognize what those could be for your particular pieces of content. And then you got to make sure those appear in the appropriate spots. Okay. For example, your page title. Little thing that appears up at the tab. Make sure it says what it's supposed to say. Okay. Make sure it's telling people what's there. You need a clean URL. What do I mean by a clean URL? It can't be like random question marks, numbers. You know, question mark 211, question mark ampersand, yada yada yada. That's not descriptive. Okay, that doesn't help Google. That doesn't help a user. And I believe in Al's earlier presentation, he showed you how to change that, because by default, WordPress will use the index number of the page. Your headers. Every blog post has a title. These keywords need to be represented in the header tags. And then the description. Okay, description doesn't really have anything to do with the Google Analytics rating. But what it has to do with is you're on the page and somebody's searching through those 10 to 12 Google searches, and they want a little more information why that link they should click on. So this is another place where you capture those people's attention. And this is also where the page title shows up as well. Okay. Some tools, some plugins that you can utilize to help you with your optimization. I have listed up here. The ones with the asterisks I use on a regular basis. After conversations I've heard today, I'm going to really start using, giving Yoast a shot. I feel like it might be a good one to try out, a little more work, but all-in-one SEO is a great one though. I've had good success with that. One actually recently that I became a really big fan of is Broken Links. I found it and ran it on my website and learned that I had over 120 broken links. That's not good. And it it actually made it very quick and easy for me to fix them or redirect them if I needed to. Again, that goes into the optimization. Google sees you have broken links. You're not taking the people anywhere. That looks down at you. Redirection tool is also a very good one in case. For instance, our company, we did some moving around of pages. So people that were linking to us, they were linking to an old page that didn't exist anymore. So we would simply redirect them to where that content has moved. So we're not giving incoming traffic broken links to go to.
Is it automated, or do you have to do every individual page listing to redirect?
You type in the list that you want. Like this is the link that people are coming to, and then I tell them exactly. It's just an index page.
So if you rename them, you have to still go through the process. Doesn't automatically.
You still have to go. We didn't rename them. I'm sorry. We reorganized and shift stuff around. All right. So we've made our content. We've optimized it so search engines can find it. Now it's time to share it. Okay, we need to promote it. If we're not going to promote it, no one else. We can't expect other people to do it for us. Okay, so you have to be willing to share, and share. Some more sharing. Okay. This is a little tricky because there are a lot of social media numbers out there. If you look into social media, you look into some studies done, They can have some different results of interactions on your site. And they also have different demographics of people that use them. I found, traditionally, I will start with and utilize Facebook, the big players, Facebook, Twitter, maybe some video service of Vimeo or YouTube. FeedBurner is great for your RSS feed. It's a great, easier way to share. And people,
Is that going away then?
That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google bought it, that's all.
but it's owned by Google. FeedBurner is
Yeah,
owned by
but
Google.
I thought they were,
It's called Google Feedburner.
Okay.
right, but I
It's
thought Google was,
It's starting to fade away. It
yeah,
should
I
fade.
thought Google
They
was.
want
Six
everything-
months to a year, it should be gone.
Really?
My guess, yeah.
And what do you use?
Well, actually, it's-
Are they,
What is that?
is the idea to phase out the whole RSS thing in general?
No,
Yeah.
just FeedBurner, they're gonna try and integrate it into Google.
All right.
FeedBurner as a standalone is probably gonna disappear. It's gonna become a Google tool.
What you're
So it
talking
would
about
just
is the
be-
branding, though. Google has come out and said they're getting rid of the FeedBurner branding, but they're still keeping the services around.
Oh,
Yeah,
so like
I've
YouTube, they bought
I've
YouTube,
integrated
that's what
enough software in that it never works that way. It'll probably change drastically because they'll think that they're making it better, but who knows? But FeedBurner, the brand and the standalone product will disappear within the year.
Okay. Well, the idea.
Sorry, man.
It's a great idea. Whether it's, I mean, it's in Google, so, I mean, if they're gonna still use it, it's a great way. I realize that not everyone utilizes RSS feeds, but it's a great way for people that do to still access them and get them sent to their email, because a lot of people don't even know how to set up RSS feed readers, and I did it once or twice, to be honest.
So how does that work for optimizing SEO?
This is the next step after optimizing.
I'm totally lost. Feeding?
Okay, FeedBurner is another, it's just another.
It's a brand name.
It's just, yeah, it's a
We're
brand name.
talking
It's a-
about
it's-
RSS feed.
Oh, some people don't know what RSS is, and a lot of people don't even use it, even if they do know what it is, so if you can explain a little bit.
Well, I know what it is, but I don't know how to, I don't know how to make that work on my site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I'm right there with you. I'm not a big fan of RSS. All I simply do is you can attach your feed, because it's all WordPress. WordPress sets up a feed for you automatically. You do the www.sitename/feed or RSS or RSS2. That will give you your RSS feed. Now you take that link and you go to FeedBurner, and then you drop it in there. And then what it does is it gives people will automatically be sent there, and it gives them a nice platform that is cross-browser. It allows them to share from there. It's just another sharing tool. What I would say though, all these social media tools out there, they're not always going to do what you want them to do. So it doesn't mean you should be there. Okay. A good example is a study I read told me that Twitter will give you more views of your content. Okay. But Facebook, interactions that come from Facebook will give you more interaction on your content, more comments. So as a marketing person, what's more important to you? Is it more page views, or is it more people actually interacting with your content? That's the thing you got to weigh with these. I've just found that these are Facebook, Twitter, FeedBurner of some sort, whatever that's going to turn into, and so maybe if you're doing video like a YouTube or a Vimeo, are a good way to get started. And then once you got that stuff kind of going, you can look to see how things are working for you. If you want to keep in that social media platform, if you want to move to a different one. Just don't think you're locked into something right away. Like you start a profile like, oh crap, I gotta use Facebook for 9 years and I do this. You don't have to. There are some good plugins out there. Simple Facebook Connect, Twitter tools that will automatically push your blog content out to these social media channels. If you want them done. Yes.
Facebook now has their own app, Simple Facebook Connect. It's made by a guy named Otto. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I think he's missing in action. He may not be supporting it anymore, and at least there's certain features that don't work on especially as far as logging in. Because I've used it for a couple of years. Love the features, everything else, some of them just don't work on
I've
some-
noticed it's kind of
fading away.
fading away as well.
So, but Facebook
Um,
has their own that you can use, in other words, directly is
What is also cool too, is you can actually get Twitter and Facebook to talk to each other, or if you use LinkedIn. LinkedIn, oh, by the way, LinkedIn is a great site, great one for business to business. But you can also get those talking to each other. So you can actually, for instance, you can use the Twitter tool, push it out to Twitter, which then Twitter will then push it to Facebook,
What are you pushing?
the content.
Of my blog, of my website?
You're pushing it out there so people can find it and share it with other
a
people.
link with an excerpt, basically.
Okay.
And this is
So
one I
if I
haven't.
click on that, they come back to my site.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Which pushes first?
What do you mean?
Whichever you want, however you want to set it.
Yeah, it's all about how you set it up. This is where it comes down to how you want it to work. You know, do you want to push it all out to Facebook individually, Twitter individually, LinkedIn individually, or do you want to push it to Twitter, which then pushes it to Facebook?
It's tangled, but you guys can do anything you want.
You're doing a web here, you know, you're winding your web. I mean, it's great to start with a few, and then kind of, I'll show you in a later step how we can.
I'm pushing, I just don't know where it's coming from first. I guess.
That's all our problem. This I haven't used this one, but I heard about this one the other day, and it sounds like a great idea. Because what happens when people blog is they're blogging great content, and then it gets buried, and then it gets lost. From what I understand about this plugin is you can set it up with certain parameters and timeframes to blog, to push out old blog posts to your Twitter feed, so it can potentially repurpose some of that content you've already used and not get it lost, which it's a really good feature. I mean, what's the point of building content and then having it get lost a couple minutes later? The second part of sharing is you yourself have to promote sharing. Okay, you're not the only one doing the sharing. You also have to set some tools up on your blog or on your content that allow quick and easy sharing for people that have found your content. I found this great piece of content. I think the people on Facebook, my Facebook network, would love this. So there's a couple simple tools, and it usually appears. This is what I'm using right now. It's called Share This. Okay, and then there's some other ones that will appear on the sidebar as a sidebar. But it's basically giving them a quick link to take that content and have them post it to their Facebook page or Twitter feed, giving you guys more street cred. As the kids say.
Excuse me, WordPress does not automatically do that for if I have a WordPress blog, it doesn't automatically have like Twitter and Facebook.
No, that's something you have to, those are quick plugins that you just kind of do a quick little research on the plugin page and stuff like that. And then it seems like Facebook will also, Facebook and Twitter, they're all getting a little more friendly with this blog sharing. So, but no, it's not, from my knowledge, it's not pretty accurate. Like I just said, I use Share This currently. On the new release, they're doing some cool things with analytic tools, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but that can actually give you more insight to not only where it's being, that it's being shared, not only that it's being shared, but then what pieces of that shared content are actually getting clickbacks and people are then coming back to your site. Okay. I've used Shareaholic before, Shareable before. This WP social toolbar I've seen a couple times. I'm looking for a project to use it because I kind of like where it lays out at the bottom of the page. So kind of as a designer, I kind of like the uniqueness of it, but haven't used it yet. All right, so we got our content. We've optimized it so people can find us, and we're sharing it, so it's out there, everybody's seeing it, people are loving it, they're digging it, they're clicking back, they're coming back and checking it out. Now our goal is to take these users or these views and turn them in, or converting them into leads. Okay? Because what's the point of having a website if we're not generating leads? I mean, let's be honest, we're here for the money, right? Show me the dollar bills, right? All right. First step to do this is you have to have a clear call to action. Okay. Company I work for, Campus Labs, we do a lot of webinars. Okay. So it's a simple, quick, and easy button. Big button. It says, "Hey, register now." I'm going to click on this. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be asked to register for something. Okay. The next step in conversion is the form. Okay. For our webinars, we use a tool, software called GoToWebinar, GoToMeeting. This is the form that they generically provide, and I think it's a great form. One reason, there's one purpose to this form. There's no navigation, there's no upper navigation. You can keep it there, but it's giving people the opportunity to go somewhere else. We've got them to the end of the funnel right now. This is what we want. So make it really simple and easy and clear. You know, first name, last name, email. You want their contact information. This is how we get leads, right? With other forms, you can ask other things. What else do you want to know about your customer? Okay. I recommend that you probably not make all that stuff mandatory. Just make the most important, crucial things mandatory. And there are some great tools, other plugins that are very good at helping you make call to actions and forms. Okay. Some of our other forms, I like to use Contact Form 7. There's also Gravity Form, both really good tools. I've started using a plugin from a company called HubSpot that it allows you to create call to action buttons. But what it also is doing is it's allowing you to track your click-through rating. So now you can see how many people are viewing the page, and then how many people are then clicking on that page. Okay? And then depending on where you set these up, you can then track the progress of people through your site and what buttons are getting more success on them, what action words you're using to get better success rate. And that leads me into the last step, which is analyzing. Okay. This is tricky. I mean, like all of this, it's a little tricky. Okay. There's a lot of information out there, and there's a couple tools. Google Analytics is, I would say that's probably the standard right now, is Google Analytics. They're great for giving you pretty much really dissecting and allowing you to hone in on where people are coming from, how they're getting there. The Share This app, like Share This plugin that I talked about earlier, now has the ability to give you analytics for people coming from social networking sites that have got the information from the shared links that are on your site. So it's showing you how successful your sharing is. The HubSpot plugin that I talked about is letting you get click-through ratings on your call to actions. However, there is no one big massive free plugin that will give you a nice consistent a very quick and easy overview. This is where a lot of people want to make some money. Yes?
Do any of those give you IP addresses or locations with IP addresses
Google Analytics, I believe you can get locations, and
with an IP address?
I'm not sure, I want to say yes. Not 100% sure on that.
Worst comes to worst, your raw log, your hosting provider will have a program outside of WordPress that gives you your traffic, which will list your IP address.
Okay.
But that's for your hosting provider. That's like, but this is awesome. If you can do it this way, that's even better. But if you have to, you can go right into wherever your host is, and there should be at least one program that'll say in Webalizer or whatever that you can click on, and it'll detail out the same kind of information, but it will include the IP addresses.
Okay.
Of people that have visited you.
Yes, anywhere on that domain name, right. The only problem is you don't know where that IP address is. You have to.
Exactly, I
you
used
just really
to have
know.
Mint, and that gave me everything.
That's why Google, I would say Google Analytics is really good. I mean, an IP address, like, you don't know where that's coming from, but like, they will actually, you can actually pinpoint it to region and city in Google
But
Analytics.
not small town. If you were gonna
I
buy
got it
one
down to like Hamburg and stuff, like a lot of the surrounding suburbs and stuff.
on
like
Google
that.
Analytics?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But without an IP address to go with it.
I'm not 100% sure if the IP address was present there. It was a while since last time I looked at that.
If you were gonna buy one, is there one you would recommend?
Well, great that you asked that question. All right, that's where I'm heading next.
Not a plan.
Mind reader right there, I like that. To get a really true sense of, your inbound marketing, your return on investment, there's a thing, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with this, is CRM. It's a customer relationship manager. It's a lead tracker. You get leads at a conference or something, they put them into this, and then the sales team uses them to then go off and make calls and, buy products.
It's called relationship building.
Yes, there you go. I guess I should have been a little more PC with that. But I'm on the tech side, come on. If you can find a software package that helps you link to your customer relationship manager, that will give you the best kind of analytics. HubSpot is a great source for that. They have a great product there. I'm a big fan of theirs. Salesforce is a content relationship manager. If you use that, and I know they have some plugins that you can use, some form plugins that you can use on WordPress. So that in itself is bringing your leads directly into your content relationship manager. But as for like any free silver bullet plugins, that's where they go skimpy. That's where people want to make sure. So.
Maybe this isn't related, but I'm thinking about people that want to follow my blog. They can just press a button that says follow, but is this the kind of thing where, like, I could actually have, if they want to follow my blog, they have to fill something out? Or is that always just they press follow, they're following, but I have no way to really access them?
What's the main purpose of your blog?
Well, I support people to live fully embodied in their bodies so they can be empowered and live their greatest lives. And so the idea for the blog is just to share some of my personal insight and inspiration for living.
That's great. That is great content. That is a great point of content right there, because people want to know that stuff. You want people to follow your blog. That's like the first step in the relationship.
Right.
You gotta think of it, you're forming a relationship with these people. You're nurturing a relationship with these people. So, it's not like somebody meets you up on the street and you go up to them, "Hey, oh my God, buy my products right now." You don't do that. Like,
I know people would do.
but you get to know them. You get to know what they're looking for so you can best suit their needs.
Yeah.
So like the simple follow the blog thing is just, that's whether it's an RSS feed or through social media or some other way, that's a way that they can be connected to you and what you're providing them. And that's the first step in the relationship building.
Got it.
Okay. Then I would say, as like you progress and you write more blogs, that's where you start putting like some call to actions maybe in your content that say, hey, you know, like, this is what I do. If you like what I do, click over here, fill out the form, I'll give you a call and you can do something.
Well, I'm thinking like a 30-day challenge, you know, if you want to take this 30-day challenge to celebrate every day, you know, or something like that, register here and share your insights or whatever.
No,
Is that kind of what you're?
that's a good idea. I mean, you're,
Or, well, you may want to, I would suggest maybe making it so that it's like, you know, when you sign up, you get 30 days of inspiration, or
well,
is that what we're talking about?
yeah, that's, I guess, what we do at Campus Labs is we've done, we do case studies, but we have a couple case studies out there, but we don't require registration or anything. That's, hey, this is how we help people, here you go. We have a couple white papers over there. It's more in depth on like student retention and how we want people to stay, you know, how are the theories behind retention. I think it's like a 20-page paper that was written. That's something we're like, all right, you know, you want to learn more about this subject matter, here's a form, fill it out, and then we'll send it to you. We do webinars. We have some videos that we share. It's all your own prerogative too. Like, this is where the analyzing comes in. With the data and knowing your numbers, you can then see what has been most effective for you. You know, what's working. Like, if I give out a case study and I get, you know, 7 leads from that from people just going to my contact page.
I think describing the business process a little more directly, I think what you're talking about is you want to use as a funnel for lead generation. That's really what it is. Usually it's, you know, you have something where it's a funneling process to a landing page. Ordinarily, what most companies do these days is they say, for this free 14-page report on what your life or whatever, sign up here, and that's where you capture their data. So I guess the question is, what's the simplest way without having to subscribe to a Salesforce.com or some elaborate, you know, CRM system? Is there, and I know that there's subscribe plugins where you can subscribe to someone's blog and then get emails, and you can actually send out emails manually through that list on the back end. But is there a lead generation other plugin specifically for that style of lead generation, where people would sign in and get a file that you know of?
Like an automatically sent file after the.
That's one thing, or even just
Not to my knowledge. What I experienced so far, and I'm not saying it's not out there because there's a lot of stuff out there.
Right.
Mostly it's usually, you know, form gets sent. You can get it sent to your own personal email, and then, you know, then you push out the content to them. What I did for the Campus Labs site is I made it so the form, once the form's filled out and sent, it automatically pushes them to a page that they then can download the content or view the video.
So what happens to that information for you? Do you get it, does it import into your CRM system, or do you get it
Well,
raw?
currently what's happening is, and I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, currently what's happening is the contact information is then sent to an employee's email.
As an individual piece of data?
Yeah, individual name, first name, last name, contact information, school.
Right.
Then it goes to, then that person puts it into the CRM.
And that can work for a small business if it doesn't generate huge amounts of leads to begin with.
Yeah.
Doing it that way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a great, we thought about like sending it out individually, but it just really didn't make much sense when we could just set it up that you got their information, so now here is what you're looking for.
Yeah, there's contact form. A lot of the contact form plugins have you can designate what URL, what page they go to after they submit the information. So that's what he's saying, how we create that
Right.
process.
Can I add something? So how I did it was, I have a free ebook that I share on my website, and people I use a service called MailChimp, which
Oh.
allows you to
Oh,
use
yeah, that's a
good one.
up to 2,000 users for free. And when the users confirm their email address, the confirmation email contains a download link which you can use. That's another way to do it.
Yeah, MailChimp is a great free service
And you
that
have the subscribe users
It
list,
also
you can
uses-
export
And
that.
there's auto-respond options on some of the contact form plugins as well, where if there's an automatic, which would be like what you did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's another service we use, it's called eJunkie. It's like $5 a month for a small amount,
Mhm.
but it has, the component is like a shopping cart, but you can make the product for free, so that when they register and they can download right then and there, but then you get the information from the customer.
That's cool.
See, there are plenty of different kinds of things out there.
Yeah, MailChimp has some, there are some things that it can't do that some of the others can, like
Mhm.
Constant Contact and
Oh.
Aweber and,
Constant Contact, I'm using MailChimp currently for one of my side projects. But Constant Contact is they do a great service there. We're using them at Campus Labs for a lot of our stuff too, that they do. They have some great ability to make custom emails.
yeah.
It's great.
I think the one thing about Constant Contact is you can't have two sign-up boxes on one page, so that can create an issue if maybe you have two different things that you're selling, so maybe you have a free,
I would, yeah, in that situation, I would
Yeah.
probably suggest different emails.
yeah, okay.
It's email. People get a lot of email every day. You don't want to bombard them. You want to make it quick and simple.
Yeah,
I would even maybe say not even doing a form. Maybe getting them to your website. Like, in my opinion, your hub, your website is your hub. Like, that's where you want people to be.
Yeah.
That's where they can find more information. Maybe that page then has your contact, your form, and stuff like that. But,
And that style of marketing could be a whole nother program or course.
just everything in it, everything could just be. I also here's a list of some other notable plugins that I've used and I like to use. Avatar is it's a good one for if you're going to have multiple bloggers on your site. WordPress uses Gravatar to get its photos, and if your authors don't have a profile there, then it just comes up with a generic box. This will allow you to actually upload a custom photo of that person. Event Manager, I love it. I'm using it to facilitate our webinar schedule. And as it keeps advancing and updating, like, it's just getting better and better, which is great. I'm really having fun with this. I recommend this. I incorporated it with our share this button, and it allows you to, sometimes people don't want to go through the process of sharing, but they still want to say, hey, thumbs up, good stuff. So this just lets you put like a little, I use a heart, say, hey, I like this. So somebody came to the website and said, hey, this is good content, good job. Getting a little more validation. Social media mashup is a good way to kind of bring in feeds from your social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, just that if you want to publicize those on your website. These are page nav and breadcrumb. They are for navigation purposes. Stuff down here at the bottom is security stuff to help you with spam and making sure that it's real people on your site. And talking about just a quick point on security, just update your stuff. I think this is talked about before. I had a run-in recently, and it's because I was on an old version of WordPress. Just update your stuff.
And there is such a thing as too much security. Having too many plugins, they conflict, they mess up your HD access, they don't let you do the other plugins work. So you can get excessive with it, is what I'm saying.
No, yeah, you can definitely get excessive with it. It can start bogging down site performance. So I mean, kind of take it one at a time, make sure things are working. And, sometimes plugins don't like to talk with each other. They don't get along. But any questions?
So the title of the whole thing is about inbound marketing, right? I mean, that's what we're focusing on. And you talk about social media. What strategies, I mean, what other strategies are there besides, I mean, social media is obviously the big, the big means of that. Are there any other pieces of the puzzle that are worth spending time in?
In my opinion, it starts, content. Like the 5 things we outlined, content, optimization is crucial because, that to me is somebody's looking for you, basically. Somebody's out there looking for you. If you're not optimized for that stuff, then, they're just passing you by. Social media, that's a huge buzz. That's where everyone's at. Like, you want to go where people are. You can also, I would say, if there's another step, that might be email marketing. It's a small piece of the puzzle because those are email addresses you already need. That's people are already down the conversion. You've already got them converted into a lead when you get into email marketing.
Does traditional marketing fit into inbound? In other words, you're on the side of your car and billboard?
It can. This is where, it can. And an effective marketing strategy will incorporate both. I've been in environments where people have focused way too heavy on outbound marketing, traditional marketing. Problem is it's very expensive comparably. I think the stat is like 33%. Lead generation is 33% cheaper with inbound marketing as opposed to outbound marketing.
So how are you defining, forgive me for asking this, but how are you specifically defining the difference between inbound and outbound? How are you defining it?
I'm defining it as basically, well, first it's digital based, but then it's also, it's setting yourself up and providing resources that then attract people and bring people in.
So is this comparable to pull versus push marketing? Or that's a different?
Oh yeah, like outbound marketing is very the traditional outbound marketing is very, I like to consider in your face, very like, hey, look at me, hey, I can do that, I think one reason I'm very passionate about inbound marketing too, I feel like it's a relationship builder too. It allows the user to get to know you and your company. As outbound, I would say outbound is more effective. This is my opinion, but is more effective for like more brand recognition.
I also think it has to do with the type of business that you have.
I would agree with that too.
I have a client who's a forestry consultant, and most of the people who want to have their land timbered are older and don't have Facebook accounts. They don't do Twitter. They're not searching the web. And with him having his website name on the side of his truck, they then go and take a look at his site, which gives more information about his business. I think it just really depends on what you're marketing.
There's always going to be a value to that.
Yes.
There always will be.
No, my grandfather used to own a printing company. And, the internet, paper's no more, paper's gone. No, there's still going to be a place and purpose for it. Like my opening question said, what is the purpose of your website? That's basically saying, what is the purpose of your business? What is your market? Inbound marketing is not the end-all solution for everybody. It all depends on what you do. The thing is, though, nowadays, it is a buzzword, and there are people that I've done some freelance work for that, I need this, I need that, I need this is great, this is awesome. I'm like, wait, first of all, who's going to manage that? Second of all, is it worthwhile to actually have all this really cool stuff? Let's start with one piece, see how that does, and then progress up. Yes?
In terms of discussion of links, is there any either legal or internet sort of protocol for just taking people's links, linking to them, putting them on yours? Or, because at one point, this is probably quite dated, but I thought that there was sort of a process you're supposed to go to make sure people are okay with your doing that.
I like to, the whole idea about, the way I look at it, the whole idea about the internet is about sharing content, putting it out there. If you're putting it out there, you want people to read it. I think if you're gonna repurpose somebody's content or you're gonna link to their content, I think as a business, it's a great opportunity to contact them and simply be like, hey, I love what you're doing. I'm gonna link to it on my website, you know, like, can we do a link swap? Can we trade, you know, link to something of mine? Or maybe even a great thing is doing a guest blog post. You know, like, hey, I want you to write a blog, can I write a blog for you? Well, that means I don't have to write a blog this week. That is awesome. You know, like, yes, but that is pushing your recognition, your stuff out to another network of people that might not have known about you.
There's a conflicting legal precedent regarding that, actually. On one hand, if someone says they don't want you to link to them, they're kind of an idiot. Well, Buffalo News, guess what? They're idiots. Buffalo News.
Buffalo Snooze.
Yeah. They have, at least on one occasion, sued someone for linking to a specific page in their content versus their front door. So it was deep linking. You link to a very specific thing instead of taking them through having to go through their usual website to get there.
What was the turnout of that?
It had to be removed. They actually got in trouble for I know it's dumb because it's counterintuitive, and it's the only case I've ever heard of. So I don't think it's going to be a very good legal precedent, but the idea is that, again, I am not a lawyer. Anything's legal until a judge decides to make a dumb decision, and that's basically what it was. In general, you don't need to ask anyone's permission to link anywhere in the world, but you never know. Someone could always have a problem with it if they're going to be a jerk anyways. Just like anything else in real life. It's not something you should concern yourself about, but it's something that, it's a big world. It's like you can't say it hasn't happened.
I know. And you know what? Anybody wants to link to me? Great. I want more backlinks.
Exactly.
So
Give me your card.
I will.
My whole thing is somebody doesn't want you to link to them, I don't want to link to you anyways.
But you can also link to people and put down scumbag in the text and then have a link to Salino and Barnes or something, and they could get offended by that. And theoretically, when someone types in scumbag, it'll be more associated through Google's analytics to be associated with that. So those kind of things actually can happen, but I'm not recommending it, I'm just saying. But again, even in that case, people do that all the time. People do that all the time, whether they, then they try and talk about something negative, they call it Google bombing. You just have a phrase that people put all over their websites, and the phrase associates with some site or product, so then they guide people looking for that phrase to the product. It could be very undesirable or defamatory even. I've never known of anyone get in trouble for that. Like I said, the Buffalo News is an extremely rare case.
I'm surprised
Now, I
they
know
just
at
ask you to
least
take it
6
down rather than
newspapers that do that.
Oh,
I think that's the
even if they
ongoing
don't have a
debate.
legal case, they're
I
trying
think
to.
that's the ongoing debate between the internet information and the solid brick and mortar newspaper and the fact that.
That's why
newspapers
Newsweek
are-
Well, if you link to a Buffalo News article 30 days later, it goes behind closed.
Yeah.
So, they're hurting themselves.
And this conference was I think it was just before they started doing that actually. But you're right, they are hurting themselves. But they have different revenue models for how they do their stuff. But it's up to them to come up with it in terms of ethically, not you to decide. You shouldn't be culpable for that.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Is this presentation available?
No, but I can do what I can.
Aren't you getting a copy of this to the WordPress group so that we can publish it? I'm pretty
I
sure.
will.
Make sure. All right.
Yes, the WordPress group will have this. Just to wrap up real quick, 5 steps. Create, optimize, promote, convert, and analyze. And then go back and do it again. Once you analyze, you figure out what's working, what's not, and don't fix it. You can always fix it. You can always change it. I know I was at that point at one point too. Like, oh, I've already done it. It's fine. Let's leave it there. No, we can massage it. We can make it, do what we need it to do. And I always like to end things on one little fun fact. When Google was first started, it was called backlog. I'm not sure where you're going with that, but okay. I don't know. I just found it the other back in Stanford days. It's a little fun fact. So, thank you so much.
All right.
You said you use constant contact, right?
I'm not using.
Just the phone. What you gotta do?
I actually decided